to Chicago, where the fire serve cold, but the Wolves and the Hawks never shiver in the snow. The Bulls keep it running, the Sox run the South, the Cubs run the North, but the Bears run the house. True Chicago sports fans got their ears to the street. Any team make a move, and they never skip a beat. And in this house, this is where we be. Welcome to the show with E-Roc and Big-Z.
Welcome to Chicago.
Yeah.
Coming from the True Chicago Sports Fan Cave, this is the TCSF podcast with your host E-Roc and Big-Z. Episode 17 is brought to you by Noir, Ceasar, Villain Radio Studios, and Grit Clothing Company. As always, I am Big-Z, and I'm here with my co-host E-Roc. What up, E?
What's good, Z? We have a great show today. This week in 3 and Out, our weekly Bears analyst Il Brown gives us his X's and O's on this Sunday's game where we played the Saints and didn't come out on top.
Yeah, living on a prayer.
Yeah, well, my prayers were not answered this week. And we also look ahead to next week's road game against the Tennessee Titans. And we also do a little baseball talk.
Yeah, we got some baseball news, and we need to rant. We need to get off our chest.
I'm not a Sox fan, and I got some ranting to do about this managerial hire.
Yeah, well, it doesn't matter. We're Chicago fans, and at the end of the day, we want our teams to do well. And guess what? They picked the wrong guy, in our opinion. All right. So, can't wait to dive into some Bears talk.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, but first, this is The Loop, our Chicago sports roundup where we keep you in the loop.
This is Chicago. Doors open on the left at Chicago.
Welcome to Chicago. Welcome to Chicago. Welcome to Chicago.
This is Chicago. Doors open on the left at Chicago.
Welcome to Chicago.
What's up first, E?
First, we got the Chicago Cubs. John Lester is a Cub no more. The Cubs declined to pick up his option for the upcoming season. I feel like Lester knew this was about to happen. He did put out a tweet, said, regardless of what's next, I want to thank the fans for the past 6 years. So this weekend, which was Halloween, weekend. 10:30 through the 1st of November, he goes, I'm buying y'all my favorite beer. Make a reservation at, he said, Hopsmith, Lodge Tavern, Butch McGuire's, and Shenanigans House of Blues, or I don't know what that is,
House of Blues,
and he said, your first Miller Lite is on me. Just tell him to put it on John's tab.
That was a pretty cool gesture.
John, look, man, I love Lester.
Mm-hmm.
Love Lester.
I know you don't like Miller Lite, but...
Well, I mean, hey, we knocked them back when we were watching the Dodgers win. Your Dodgers won the World Series the other day, so... But yeah, I mean, look, Lester was the first big move that Theo and company made when they were really making that push. And I feel like John Lester is true love for the city of Chicago. And trust me, we reciprocate that feeling.
I think he's a class act guy when it comes to being on and off the field. He took the ball every fifth day and he gave everything. He left everything out there. Even when he didn't have all his control,
right? He
was still out there doing his best. And you know what? You can't do nothing but respect that.
Right. And he had his personal catcher, Rossi, who was his manager this year. I hope that they're able to, keep him in some capacity, whether it's,
you think he's done pitching?
I don't think so. I think he wants to pitch, but I think if he's really honest with himself, it might be the end of the line. I think
he said he wants to end his career with us, with the Cubs.
Right. So I think that this is my hope for Lester. I hope that Ross can talk him into sticking around in some role, whether it's just a veteran's minimum for to pitch again as maybe a fourth or fifth starter because we got Darvish and Hendricks and the rest of the crew there, and I think Q is a free agent. But an advisor, whatever he can do. I mean, I'd love to have him around here.
I think the Cubs make the right room and give him maybe one with an option.
Right.
But yeah, he's not going to make any big bucks. I mean, especially with the Cubs situation.
Right.
That they've been saying that they don't have money.
Right.
But it'd be good to have him on there. He can teach the young kids that they bring up how to pitch.
Yeah. I mean, so the Cubs did make a couple other moves. The Cubs picked up Anthony Rizzo's option for next year, which was a no-brainer.
Right, no-brainer at all.
You know what I mean? I think we talked about that before. We kind of felt like that was the right move. Yeah, it was going to happen regardless.
He's a lifer.
Yeah, I hope Rizzo, he already bounced around. He went to the Red Sox originally. He was drafted by the Red Sox. Mm-hmm. He got traded over to the Padres when I think it was Jed Hoyer went over there and Jason McLeod.
Yep.
And then when Theo ended up over here, then they brought him over here. So I hope he's a guy that stays here for the rest of his career. The Cubs also declined the contract option on infielder Daniel Descalso. Holy cow. Thank you.
Danny Barefoot.
Good God, what a waste. What a waste. And he was one of those guys when they brought him in, I was like, hey, it's always good to have a vet around the clubhouse. You know, he's going to help out some of the younger guys. You know, maybe he'll, teach them how to be a professional batter. And he was just bad all the way through.
He was really bad for you guys.
Nothing good. Nothing good. So it'll be interesting to see what the Cubs roster looks like going into next year. Guys that you saw at the end of the season, like Cameron Maben, guys like that, they're not going to be back.
No. But you know what, E? Free agency is upon us.
Yes.
So look for some big moves, and we'll put them on our page, on our Instagram page.
Oh, we're going to be all over it. I can't wait. That's going to be a very exciting time.
This is my Christmas. Yeah. I love this.
So what's going on with the White Sox, man?
Oh, boy.
Woo-hoo.
We have a lot to talk about. All right, the Sox. I'm going to get my thoughts together here. All right.
Just give me your news.
All right.
And then we can really rant about it in a little bit.
All right. So the White Sox have officially named Tony LaRussa as the new manager of the team. Yeah. LaRussa hasn't coached since 2011. He gets the job over other candidates that were considered like Bruce Bochy, even Willie Harris, who's been with the organization for years. And as far as I know, those were the guys that were interviewed. So they checked off their box of somebody of color.
Right.
And they checked off their box of, this might be a guy.
A championship manager.
Right.
A recent championship manager that they mentioned.
Right. That was exactly
that was Bochy.
That's what Han said. He wanted a recent championship winner as a coach. And then the owner steps in and says, hey, let me call my guy over here.
Yeah.
So before we move on to the other team, I'm going to give you a little bit of stuff. All right. So I just want to say this is a Jerry Reinsdorf move.
100%.
He put his stamp all over it, his rubber stamp. This is not a Han move.
Not at all.
All right. Han has put in all the hard work to rebuild, and to have the rug pulled from under him is just a slap in the face and an insult. Han has every right to plan his exit. While he's not going to do it this year, he will be looking for other locations to general manage.
I agree.
And when he comes onto the market, he will be a hot commodity.
I agree, and he deserves to go wherever he wants to.
Yeah. On a side note, AJ Pierzynski was on the radio this week, and he said he's interested in coaching, but he was also interested in the White Sox job. He said he does want to manage, and even if LaRussa were to call to put him on the bench staff, that he would listen.
Okay.
All right. On that same note, I was also listening to some other show, because we have a little partnership with our boy Ozzie Guillen Jr. and his show. Ozzie said that he has much respect for LaRussa because that was his first coach here in Chicago, and that if LaRussa did call, and he would consider filling in into his staff.
So you're saying Ozzie Senior would like to be in the back in the saddle with the White Sox in any capacity he can get in there.
So you're saying there's a chance. All right. So for right now, we're gonna pause on the White Sox news until we rant in a couple of minutes. But what's going on with your favorite football team, your college football team?
Notre Dame, baby. Notre Dame, 6-0. They got a win over Georgia Tech, 31-13. They improve. Ian Book went 18 for 26, 199 yards, 1 touchdown. Notre Dame with 426 total yards, 227 rushing yards, 24 first downs. Very good third down efficiency, 10 for 15. They dominated the time of possession. No interceptions. I mean, they
definitely playing like a champion.
They're playing like a champion. I mean, they scored in every quarter. They got a touchdown in every quarter of the game. They did a good job. Georgia Tech is not a very good team. They're only 2-5 after this game, and Notre Dame sitting firmly at number 4.
And it's 6-0 at number 4.
Yeah, so I mean, like I said, eventually they're going to play the big boys.
Yeah, they play the big boy next week.
Well, they're not because Trevor Lawrence, Sunshine got the COVID, bro. So no sunshine next week.
It's going to be cloudy.
It's going to be a full moon, bro.
Well, it's a full moon now.
Yeah. So, and then also we got some Northwestern, man. Northwestern.
Yes. Go Cats.
Go Cats. Very early in the Big Ten season, they got a win over Iowa, barely squeaked by 21-20.
That's a good win. Iowa's a good team.
Right. They absolutely. Iowa's always a good team.
Yeah.
Kurt Ferentz over there. I think he's like the longest tenured D1 coach right now, Kurt Ferentz for Iowa.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure, yeah. But yeah, they squeaked by 21-20, backed by a strong rushing game. They had 143 rushing yards, 18 first downs, very good again, 10 for 19. Third down efficiency, 2 for 2 on fourth down. And yeah, I mean, they had one interception, lost 2 fumbles, which you never want to see. But they did pick off Iowa 3 times. And they were actually down 17-0 going into the second half. And they pulled them up, and they actually held the Hawkeyes scoreless in the second half of the game.
That's a good win.
So, yeah, it's a good win. I mean, you know, they came back, won the game. You know, nobody scored in the fourth, but they didn't need to because the Wildcats were able to pull it off and hold on to the end of the game.
Yeah, go Cats.
Go Cats.
All right, y'all. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.
This is Chicago. Doors open on the left at Chicago.
Welcome to Chicago. Welcome to Chicago. Welcome to Chicago.
This is Chicago. Doors open on the left at Chicago.
Welcome to Chicago.
Welcome back to the TCSF podcast with E-Roc and Big-Z.
Yeah.
It is time for some 3 up and 3 down.
I think I'll perplex him with my slow ball.
1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out.
3 up and 3 down is brought to you by Grit Clothing Company. This week, we are going to break down the hiring of Tony LaRussa on the South Side. Z, the floor is yours.
Whoa, thank you, E. Thank you, E. So let me start off by saying I'm not in favor of the hire. And there's many reasons I'm not in favor of the hire. I understand he's a Hall of Famer. He has won championships. He was on the forefront of shortening the game when he was in St. Louis. You know, people were like, oh, you're crazy. You can't shorten the game. You can't put relievers in the 6th and the 7th inning. You know what? He was a pioneer at that point. But at some point, Ozzie was a pioneer too, and now he's considered as crazy.
Right.
All right. So here are my concerns. I'm going to start off with some negatives on the hire. Hahn had stated at the end of the year presser that the Sox wanted someone with recent postseason managerial experience. This isn't the case with LaRussa because it's been since 2001. So that's not recent. So he doesn't check off that box.
Yeah.
So
And then-
2011.
Yeah, and when's the last time he even managed a game?
2011.
Right.
He retired at the end of that year.
Right. So it's been like a decade since
He's
even
been a
managed
decade,
a game.
yes. And you know what? Yeah. He hasn't managed in almost 10 years. The game has completely changed. You know, not only as, you know, playing a game, but the culture of the game
Right.
has completely changed. His age is 76. And we're not going to do some ageism here, and that's not what I'm trying to do because there is other managers like Dusty Baker, who's also around that age. And I'm not trying to say, oh, just because you're old, you can't do that. But at the same time, we have such a young roster
Right.
that's where I see a problem. So it's two-pronged. Can he relate to the young players who have never seen him manage, let alone know who he is?
Right. These guys were all like little kids the last time he was a manager. Like, not even kidding.
They were like 2 years old. Yeah. All right. You also have a disconnect within culture-wise. All right. And you know, I don't want to stereotype here, but he is an older white man.
Yeah. I mean, look, I'm gonna go off a little bit right here because you know he has come out against Black Lives Matter.
Right. And doubled down. He doubled down this February.
And guess what? Like, here's the thing. Regardless of your own personal stance, listeners, us here in the studio, regardless of your own personal stance, there's a lot of black players, and one of the most prominent players on the White Sox happens to be a young black man. Okay, so you can understand why he would be upset. Number two, when you talk about kneeling for the flag and the idea behind kneeling for the flag, that all coincides with BLM. So, I mean, like I said, whatever your own personal stance is, how do you bring in an old manager who has outwardly and very openly said those things and condoned it?
Yeah.
Number two, the fact that we can write down a laundry list of all the bad things with him. You know, one of the things that people kept bringing up is that he is a convicted drunk driver. Okay.
Yes, he is.
So that's that. You know, that's whatever it is, but that's another down thing that you can look at him. You know, that's not a good example to set for your younger players. But number three, and this is all top of the dome. And this is one of the things that frustrate me as a Cubs fan, not even as a Sox fan.
Okay.
A lot of the things we heard about A.J. Hinch was what?
The cheating?
The cheating. Who's one of the original cheaters?
LaRussa.
LaRussa. Back in the day.
Jack McDowell just talked about
Right.
it. Yeah,
when you talk about the Bash Brothers, the Juice Brothers, the guys whose nuts are shriveled up into raisins a long time ago, okay? Old Pimplehead McGuire.
California Raisins.
The California Raisins, exactly. That's the Oakland A's of the 80s. The California Raisins, the original cheaters. And someone had said, well, you know, it wasn't against the rules back then. That doesn't make it not cheating, okay?
Correct.
And that's a problem. It was that you're sitting there, like I said, you were talking about
a blind eye, like Adrian Hedge.
That's
it's
exactly right.
the same thing.
That's exactly right. So you're not going to sit here and tell me about cheating when the fact of the matter is that LaRussa was the manager for one of the original Juice Brothers, Juice Crews, whatever you want to call it back in the day. Okay. You know, we talked about all the books in here that we pretend to do our research on. I've never read half these books. So you see, when we do our Facebook Live, I haven't read half these books that are behind me when we do the videos.
They look nice.
They do. That's all my thrift store finds, because I love thrift stores. But I got the Jose Canseco book. I got the Balco book. I got all those books back there, and Jose and Canseco and McGuire are forefront of those. We know that these are known juicers. And who was at the helm when they were winning championship? LaRussa. So I don't want to hear nothing about AJ Hinch is a cheater. Nothing. You had the open opportunity for one of the coaches who was able to relate with a bunch of young Latin players down in Houston right there in your lap. And what did you do? You let them go to Detroit.
They had multiple options for the coaching,
right?
For the manager seat. So just to finish my thoughts here. We talked about the BLM, the Black Lives Matter movement, and how he's opposed to it and didn't understand it. This is what I equate to. When you look at your parents, they may be older, or even your grandparents, they have a mindset in place, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Like if you say, hey, I'm going to go to, Division and Grand, and they're like, ooh, oh my God, you can't go over there. It's crime-ridden.
Right. Right.
So-and-so, you can't go around those people.
They're already set in their ways.
Right. So how is that any different? This guy's 76 years old, has already said he's against, the movement and the change. And, the White Sox are all about change the game. He doesn't want to change the game at all. He wants it, hey, we're going to bunt.
This is what I said. I says this is basically an 80-something-year-old Reinsdorf wanting to be able to pass on in his life without any regrets, and one of his biggest regrets was letting go of LaRussa in the 80s, and all because of Hawk Harrelson.
Right.
So
you know why? Because he let his GM do his job.
Well, but wait,
or lack of their job. I mean,
right. But what? Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
Come on.
Neither here there. Yeah.
Anyways, the point, the fact of the matter is that Reinsdorf came down, took away the power from your general manager, who did not sound like that was his idea whatsoever.
In a press conference, he did not say he said we believe. He didn't say I believe.
Right. That's a caveat.
That is a caveat.
So the fact of the matter remains is that he took it out of his hands when he disagreed with the GM's choice when it happened the first time, when he got rid of LaRussa in the 80s. So you're cutting out the legs from under your general manager, who's done a phenomenal job in building a roster for you.
He just won GM of the year.
Right.
So why would you do that? It's like, everyone has a boss. Let's just be honest here. Everybody has a boss when they go to work, right? And you may be producing at a high level. And then your boss says, you know what? We're going to go back to pencil and paper. We're going to go door to door and make sales.
Right.
That I'm sorry, that doesn't work. So while I would love to be wrong,
right,
I don't think I'm going to be wrong. So let me just get through these positives, get this out of the way, and then he's going to give me a little bit more feedback. Positives. He's forgotten more baseball than we know.
He's forgotten more baseball than we've ever heard in our life.
Oh, yeah.
And that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. I get it. I mean, you can find, one person that I used to work with at Apt was the one guy was like, you can't go wrong with a Hall of Fame manager. I'm like, well, I don't want Ditka coaching the Bears either. He's 80 as well.
No,
you know what I mean?
All right. So another thing, he's a leader. He's an old general. So he's going to have a presence in the locker room as opposed to Rick Renteria. Rick Renteria was the nice.
He's a charming guy.
Yeah, very charming. Yeah, he's soft. So you have that. He will hold his players accountable on the field, playing on the field. Not all the other stuff that we just hit on.
Not off the field, because off the field you can drink and drive as much as you want, I guess.
Or juice.
Or juice. Yeah, just, hey, let's do a cocktail. Let's do the Capri Sun. There you go.
All right. He's really there to babysit. Let's just be honest with you, because this team is ready to win.
I agree.
This team is ready to win. So whoever you were going to put in there, was going to have some experience. I wish it was Bochy. I wish
if you're
I
gonna
wish
go-
it was Sandy Alomar Jr.
That's the thing is if you're going to go the route of guy who's won championships, older guy, you try to go out there and do whatever you can to bring in Bruce Bochy.
And he said he was interested.
Who's a proven winner.
Yes.
He was the manager in San Diego for a long time before he went to San Francisco and won those 3 titles.
Right.
You know what I mean? So he sees that carrot at the end of the stick, and he's like, man, the White Sox look real good. Hey, I've done this before. I've done this, managing in the last decade.
Yeah. Yeah. That's all right. So he's got a team that's ready to win. So I don't think there's going to be much change as far as what his philosophy is going to do, because the guys are either going to say, I'm just going to do me and do my stuff and produce and not worry about the coaching.
Right.
And then the checkbook's got to be wide open. And this is why. This is Jerry Reinsdorf's guy, right? Hand-picked guy. Go get every A-list free agent.
Yeah. I mean,
You have to. Because if not, this experiment's going to blow up in their face.
Ozzie Jr. said in his interview with us that if they go with LaRussa, that means that they're going to go. They're going to open the check, or they're going to open their wallet and let the moths out and go all in and sign whoever they can. That was his philosophy.
Right.
If you went with AJ Hinch, you're looking at a more developmental approach.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, is Reinsdorf essentially saying, "Hey man, I'm getting older.
He's cashing in all his chips.
I'm putting my chips in the middle because you
Right.
can't take it with you when you're gone."
Right.
So is this his last-ditch attempt to win another World Series?
It's got to be.
Especially since the Cubs won one a couple years ago, and you know that sticks in his craw.
Yeah. He wants to go out on top. Yeah.
Right. You know what I mean? So, I mean, that seems like a logical philosophy, but I mean...
But here's the thing is, you just undercut Han.
Right.
So how is that going to work if Tony says, I want this player, and Han says, no, I want this. He's like, you're not the general manager. I'm going to get this player. So now you're going to have a power struggle.
It's going
to be ugly. It's going to get ugly.
This is just a struggle. And again, personally being an outsider, not being a Sox fan, Cubs fans, Sox fans, I don't think anyone is like thrilled about this hire, because even as a Cubs fan, I follow the White Sox.
Right.
You know what I mean? I want to see what they're going to do. I mean, here's the thing. I like good baseball.
Right.
So I like exciting teams. You know what I
Well,
mean?
when you guys got John Madden, I was excited. I was like, dude, you got an awesome manager.
Yeah.
And for the team, for a young team, that was a good hire. It was a good mix.
Right.
But this is not a good mix.
Yeah,
this is adding sour milk.
Yeah, but Madden was like I mean, he was a young old man. You know what I mean?
He was.
Like, and he's still a cool hip guy. You know, this and that. And out in California in my trailer, and everyone wear pajamas to work today. You know that thing. So I mean, like, and it worked for the Cubs, but. You know, you got this old crusty dude right there who's been dyeing his hair since the 70s, and
yeah, I don't know if these free agents are going to want to play for LaRussa. That's where I'm just confused. I don't know if these guys are going to want to come here.
I'm very interested in seeing how he's going to fill out the staff.
His staff, yeah, and he's tried to get his old buddies, Dave Duncan, who's with the White Sox as an advisory role, and Dave said no.
Yep. And
he's already reached out to some other of his old buddies, and they've said no.
So now he might have no other choice than to look at Ozzie and AJ.
And the thing is, I think he has Nick Capra, who they might keep anyways.
Yeah.
He's been with the organization for like a good chunk of time. I think like 10 years or something like that. But you're gonna have to fill out with a Latin bench coach or third base coach. You've got to round out your staff and not be one dimensional.
So,
because you don't have a pitching coach.
Who's
your hitting coach?
Here's a weird question, though.
All right.
Do you think that Ricky would take another role within the White Sox if he was offered the job?
No, he shouldn't. I wouldn't.
He's not getting another managerial role.
But why would you take a step down and probably take a step down in pay? Because he's getting paid for the rest of the year.
That's fine, but at least he gets to be in the organization and he really relates with the players. You know what I mean?
I think towards the end, the players were like, "Yeah, dude, you're over your head."
And I mean, that's what I'm saying. He wouldn't be in a manager's role. A lot of head coaches, look, Chuck Pagano used to be a head coach.
Yeah.
Raheem Morris was a head coach with, I think, Tampa, and now he's the interim in Atlanta.
Some guys are better suited behind the scenes where they can work with, one-on-one with the players.
With one group.
Yeah, with one group.
But here's the thing. Renteria is softer than puppy crap, so I mean.
Than wet tissue.
Right. So, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, man. Like I said, I'll be very interested in seeing what they do. or who they bring in to solidify this coaching staff, because
What it sounds like is LaRussa has carte blanche to fill out his coaching staff.
I don't like that at all.
No, I don't like that either.
I mean, most managers and coaches do get to pick their guys, but I don't know, man. Whatever. Hey, here's the thing. We're talking about coaches and bench coaches and things like that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give a shout out to my boy Mark Pryor.
I was hoping that they would at least give him an interview, because he was an awesome player, and I think he's a very, very smart guy.
Yeah. Well, my shout out is really for him getting a World Series ring.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? The old grizzled, bearded veteran now. I still have his McFarland statue sitting right there, pitching on my bookshelf there. So, you know, I loved Mark Pryor. I loved watching him pitch. So good for you, Mark. I appreciate the fact that you were finally able to at least, you know, I love the fact that he's still in the game after all the crap that he went through. Mark Pryor reminds me a lot of Derrick Rose, where he was a phenom. He got injured. You know, he played really well for a short time. Then he got injured, and then Chicago just went in on him. Him and Woody too. Like, they just never had a chance to really. Woody was able to come back. Woody went to the Yankees, and then he kind of bounced around a little bit, but he ended up coming back home. And now, I mean, like, Woody's called Chicago home his whole life, his foundations and all that stuff out of here.
Yep.
But so we know a lot about Woody. Woody's always going to be involved with the Cubs, but just to see Pryor doing well, I'm really glad he's able to.
Yeah, we cheer for our guys. I mean, when Grace won with the Arizona Diamondbacks, you know, we were happy for Gracie.
Right, absolutely.
All right, true Chicago sports fans, it's time to pay some bills. We'll be right back with a word from our sponsors.
I think I'll perplex him with my slow ball.
1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out.
Hey, true Chicago sports fans, show off your Chicago pride with some fresh gear from Grit Clothing Company. At Grit Clothing, they create simple, classic clothing that represents their Southside Chicago lifestyle. With products like hats, t-shirts, hoodies, and glassware, Grit has everything you need to represent your Chicago pride. Check out gritclothingco.com and use the promo code TrueFan15 for 15% to your entire order. That's gritclothingco.com and use the promo code TrueFan15.
Welcome back to the True Chicago Sports Fans Podcast with
Yeah.
E-Roc and Big-Z.
Yes, sir.
Are you ready for some football?
Every Sunday, brother.
It's time for Bears Talk. This is 3 and Out. All right, we're going to get straight into this. Bears loss against the Saints, went to overtime on the leg of Cairo Santos, could not do anything in overtime, went all the way down to the 2-minute mark. They actually had to do the 2-minute warning in overtime, and Bears couldn't get it done.
No, they couldn't. It's like a tale of two halves. I saw the first half where they moved the ball up and down.
Yeah.
Foles making two passes, one to Mooney for 50 yards and another one for 24 yards to Robinson for the touchdown in the first half.
Right.
And then I don't know what happened. Did Nagy get involved? I don't know because to tell you the truth, the offense looked a lot slower. People were walking to the offensive line.
Yeah.
The subs were kind of just half-assed walking there. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Another good thing I did see is Montgomery. You saw Montgomery on the field, and you saw Montgomery produce. He had a 38-yard rush on a 3rd and 1 in the second quarter, and that was a big push.
That was a big push. It was a weird game. Here's the thing. For a national audience, being the game of the week, it was a great game to watch.
Yeah,
it was very
game. exciting.
What did I tell you at one point? I had the nerves. So I was sitting there wishing I had the peanuts to crack the peanuts because it meant help get rid of the nerves as you're watching the game. But yeah, I mean it was an entertaining game all the way through. Of course, we were looking for that win. I think they did just enough to lose versus just enough to win. You know what I mean? So that's where we're sitting at. But we're gonna break this whole thing down. We're not even gonna do our first, second, and third down.
No need for it.
We're gonna go straight through, and we're gonna bring our boy Will Brown. We're gonna bring him in, and we're gonna talk some Bears. What up?
We live, man. Bear Down Nation and all that. You know what I'm saying? I got stories. I got a lot of pent up frustration.
Yeah.
Has nothing to do with what it would sound like possibly. So let's get started, man. Let's get into this, man. Fire Matt Nagy, bro.
I knew it.
Yep.
Get him out of here.
I knew that was coming.
I'm on a crusade. I didn't even like his mask he had on today. Didn't even match.
The white one instead.
Right then. I said, "Oh, okay. So in a home game, he's going to wear the road white mask. It's a wrap." But
oh man,
get him out of here, man. Like the dude.
So are you saying they should fire him now and not at the end of the season?
I actually feel like firing him now will be the necessary spark to propel this team to the playoffs, man. Because
Who do you move up? Who do you move up in the spot?
Yeah, who takes over?
I mean, you could just make Laser the interim.
What about Chuck Pagano?
Either one. You can make either one of those guys the interim. Actually,
Okay.
Chuck Pagano, I think the team will really rally around Chuck a lot more. Because Chuck, let's be real, man. Chuck and his defense have been keeping his team afloat all year with a 4-man rush.
They're the heart and soul.
Yeah, he hasn't even really had to bend on his principles. The defense is doing enough every week for these guys to win, and it's just the offense finds a way. I've never been more embarrassed to be a Bears fan in my life to see a 10-point swing on an account of a wide receiver punching a dude in the face with his helmet on.
Look, man. Look, here's the thing.
He's training for the Golden Gloves.
So my favorite part about the whole thing is that someone went into Wikipedia and changed it and says that I think it was that he debuted for the Bears in 2018 and he had his boxing debut
against the New Orleans Saints.
It's already on his Wikipedia. It was fantastic, that part. But he was sticking up for Miller. He was sticking up for Miller, who got fingers stuffed in his face mask, and then he came up. We just watched the video. It was great because someone dubbed it over. And they're like, "Oh, what's up, boy? Oh, what you going on?" So he came up and he smacked the hell out of him. I mean, it was funny after the fact, but when it happened live, we were both sitting there like, "Yo, what is happening right now?"
Yeah, it looked like it happened out of nowhere, but there's always something that happens the play before that's going to give you that reason for it.
But your cooler heads have to prevail, man. Like you can't. In a game where you literally are in control, you can't allow, you just can't allow that, man. Like, I saw him when he poked Miller in the face through the helmet. You settled it right then and there. We're going to get the 15 yards. We're getting it right there. We're not going to wait and retaliate and put the team in a position where now these guys can go and get easy points, man. That was a big turning point in the game, man, like, in my opinion.
Well, because right after that, that's when Foles threw the interception.
Mm-hmm.
Literally the next play. The next play, because and you're not wrong. What they do is you change the mentality, and now you get Foles, who's it seems like he could be easily rattled at this point. He got rattled, and that's how that worked out. So
yeah, but you're talking about Mitch Trubisky's form and his footwork. Nick Foles has been throwing off his back foot all these interceptions
a lot.
Oh my goodness! It's like this dude is a long way from the Philly special, Nick Foles. I don't know who this guy is. Like, and still, he throws a nicer ball than Mitch Trubisky. But off of the back foot, he's skittish in the pocket, man. Happy feet, doesn't know when to run, when to slide. He doesn't. He's back there completely rattled, man. And
he's gonna get Jimmy killed.
That's the coach's fault. That's the coach's fault, man.
You seen those passes to Jimmy? He almost got Jimmy killed on 2 or 3 plays.
Oh man. If I'm Jimmy Graham, man, I gotta have a talk with him in the locker room afterwards, man. But
the way he's getting hit, it looks like the way that Johnny Knox got hit. If that was Johnny Knox, he would have been turned into a pretzel again. Jimmy Graham's just big enough to withstand those hits.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Like he's throwing behind guys. He's not throwing them open. Like he has good enough arm talent where he can throw receivers open. Like he missed Mooney on a deep ball. Yeah. By throwing it toward the sideline. No, you have to lead him toward the middle of the field so he can run away from the defender. It's just like stuff that these guys have been doing their whole lives. They get to the Bears, man, they get amnesia. I just don't understand. Like this, I mean, I've been able to teach some of these simple concepts to quarterbacks at the high school level and they get it. And
Are you saying that Nick Foles is not a good quarterback?
I'm saying that if we get to 500, I'm going to hit the tank button, man. If we get to 500, I want that tank button. Like there's a lot of exceptional quarterbacks coming out in this next draft, and we need to pick us one, get us one, man, because we can't go forward with Nick Foles after the season. But I really don't
let me
with Matt Nagy. I really don't.
Let me point out a few good things. We did see some decent rushing yards, 96 yards. They still did not break the 100-yard benchmark, which is still frustrating. 96 yards. 2 for 3 in third down, or fourth down. I'm sorry. 5 for 15 in third down, which is bad. But the Saints only were 2 for 13 in third down efficiency. Now here's the problem: 5 sacks allowed. Nick Foles got sacked 5 times.
Yeah.
That you want to know why he's throwing off his back foot?
Oh, yeah.
Because he's getting sacked 5 times.
Yeah, the offensive line is abysmal at this point. We've got guys out there, man. I'm talking simple stunts that you see in high school. Rashad Coward looked like he looked like he was playing 2000 Ravens defense. With all the exotic blitz packages or the Steelers with Kevin Green and those guys throwing the zone blitz at you, you just don't know where it's coming from. It was a four-man rush in a simple, extra premeditated stunt, and he got turned around like Allen Iverson crossed Jordan over. And if you can't grasp that they're about to twist. You talk about 300-pound dudes here that's literally, you know what I mean, telegraphing their steps to do a stunt.
Yeah.
But I've been off the field for a long time, and I could pick that up.
Let's look at a few good things that did improve this week. Foles had 272 yards, which is more than we've seen out of these guys in a long time. They did a really good job of spreading the ball around. We had an Anthony Miller sighting. Anthony Miller, 8 receptions for 73 yards. Mooney with 5 catches for 69 yards. Robinson with 6 catches for 87 yards. Montgomery with a couple of catches, 16 yards. Jimmy Graham only 2 catches, 13 yards. Javon Wims got a catch. Cole Kmet got a catch. Ryan Nall, who I didn't even recognize, got a catch. But I'll say this: Roquan Smith balled out today.
He's Roquan Smith is the club bouncer that won't let you in with the wrong kind of shoes on, man. He's gonna throw you out on your face. Favorite player on the defense, him and Khalil Mack together, man, is something special. Like I said, man, what more can you expect from the defense at this point, man? The offense had flashes, man, and every time they flashed, Nagy got them out of their rhythm with a stupid play call. Like we were driving, was the fourth quarter, and we had the Saints on their heels. With just quick throws, crossing routes, dig routes, you know what I'm saying, quick outs, all the the quick game. And Nagy's like, "Hey, I got an idea." Jet sweep, and it's like, why are you doing?
Yeah.
It's like out of everything in the playbook that you could have called right there, and then the draw play when they had an opportunity to probably get that first down, and he's like, they'll never see the draw coming. Yes, they will see the draw coming because every time you guys run out of this formation, it's the draw.
Right. It's super. He's outsmarting himself. He's very predictable in a lot of things.
I was telling you, we were watching this game. I'm like, why not have 2 running backs back there and then you use your RPO game? So that way you don't know which running back it's going to or if you're going to pass. Confuse the defense. Like you can't just put, all right, we're going to put Montgomery there. Well, obviously you're going to run the ball straight when you put Montgomery in there.
Right. Yeah, I mean, Montgomery looked good today.
With a horrible offensive line.
That kid is a 1,200-yard back anywhere with halfway decent offensive line. He's leading the NFL in broken tackles.
Yeah, he's probably getting tackled behind the line too.
And that's the thing is that I think we were talking about it before. Do we really know what his potential is or what Foles can be for this team when the line is so bad?
If that's the one pass that I gotta give, then that's the necessary pass. You got to get a competent offensive line in there to see what you truly got. But I think we know what Nick Foles is, man. He's solid.
He's a journeyman.
He's fine. He's fine.
Pitcher.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And that's the funny thing is that's essentially how Z is referred to him the whole time. You know, the microwave. You get him in there, he gets hot, and then he's good to go. But you know, that's not your. He's the leftovers. You know what I mean? He's not the first meal that you cook. He's what you do. After for lunch tomorrow when you put him in the microwave for your 30-minute lunch there. That's what he is essentially.
No question. That's exactly what he is.
So
and if you have to start your day with leftovers, leftovers like the first.
You're gonna be left hungry.
When you looking forward to reheating that plate, like all the seasoning and everything that's settled in the food all nice. Nick Foles ate 3 leftovers when you like, man, I don't feel like going to the grocery store.
And there's only a couple bites left. And there's never enough. There's not enough for a full meal because you all that went to leftovers were whatever you scrape back in the plate or back in the bin. You know what I mean? So let me get your good, your bad, and your ugly.
All right, let's do it, man. Good. Cairo Santos, man.
Yes, the kicking game.
Cairo,
yes.
They tried to freeze him. He went out and drilled it again. Comfortable
in a windy day in Soldier Field.
He's comfortable kicking in Soldier Field, man. He's been consistent. He's been like when you hear his foot hit the ball, it's just the boom that we were looking for. When I don't even want to say dude's name, but
I'm saying it because he's on the Browns right now, sucking it up.
That's right. It's the Browns.
I Rhodey Sharkey. That guy. Like it sounds.
Santos
like
3 for 3 with a long of 51 yards, man.
Yeah. And that would have been good from 58, 59, man. Like
And he hit his career high this year at 55 of a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, absolutely. He's got it, man. I don't at this point, Pinheiro, I don't know what you do. Hey man, find another. Hey,
See you later.
Open that spot up for a lineman, please, because we need those guys. Bad.
So there you go.
This is predictable.
Oh boy.
Thank you, man.
Oh man, there goes that. I feel like I'm eating leftovers again because I feel like I've had this before.
Matt Nagy, man, this is exactly what it is, man. This is leftover pot roast, day 4. Almost time to throw it away. Throw it away.
It's only the ends that are left.
Feel, man. It's Matt Nagy. Bad as it can get. It's almost got mold on it. You know what I'm saying? You might go to the hospital. I mean, even when he's doing his job effectively, if he was actually the one calling those plays, he's going to find a way to say, hey, you know what? Screw all these plays that work. I'm going to try to be the smartest guy in the room and call an exotic play that everybody has seen from 2018 and is never going to work again. Not in pro football anyway. And
so let me ask you a question real quick. Okay, now Will Brown is the new GM of the Chicago Bears. You fire Nagy, we already know that. Who is your coach next year?
I don't know if I'm trying to emulate no Kansas City Chiefs anything
without the players.
Without the players. This was a very I feel like we need a steady football mind that's going to come in and he's going to preach the game from the inside out, man, and build the team from the trenches from the inside out. And you have to go back. I mean, everybody loves hiring the hot new offensive gurus and all of that stuff, man. But I'm going back to the drawing board. I have to hire somebody that I know can establish a running game, and the passing game you can figure it out from there. I feel like passing game.
Why wouldn't you just move Pagano up? He's already a proven head coach.
I'd be fine with that, man. But you have to let him go out and get the type of offensive guy that you know what I mean can mesh well with him. And
so is Laser not the guy then?
We don't know what Laser is because Matt Nagy keeps undermining.
He hasn't had a chance.
Exactly. A lot of undermining in Chicago.
So what's your ugly, man?
Ugly? I think I'm going to point to a specific play this week. Ugly was the 2-piece and a biscuit Javon Williams decided to put on the
He gave him the Popeye special.
That was the church's chicken right there.
Yeah, I don't even know, man. That might have been the 3 wings from Pete's for $1 on the island, man. Because I mean, it just was so like abrupt, and like even the cameramen were caught off guard. Like, oh,
Yes.
brouhaha. And it's like in football, there's never any brouhahas in football. This is
There was another fight in the league today. I forget who it was, but there was another fight. It wasn't as stupid as this.
and I'm just like, okay. I'm thinking like, you know, in football, you get in scuffles all the time, man. But it's pointless to actually throw hands. And then
Yeah, with the helmet on.
and then he's clapping it up, and I was like, why is he clapping? Something's wrong. And then like the play before, and I'm like, oh, here we go. And he's just totally taking off on dude, giving him the Tank Davis treatment from last night. And I'm just like, you know what? Fire everybody at this point. You can't, like, that type of, you know what I mean, lack of discipline at a critical moment in the game, it just shows you that they don't respect Matt Nagy either.
Not at all. So what happens to Wims?
I give dude his walking papers, man.
Yes, that's what I was gonna ask. Does he get released? And if you give him his walking papers, that leaves up room for other guys that need that playing time.
Yeah, like Riley Ridley, where's he been? Like, it's guys
He's
that
on
I know that
He's on a milk carton.
and it's like, you know what I mean? First of all, why was Javon Wims even in the game?
Because he had 1 reception. Because Ted Ginn was not active.
I know why. Because Matt Nagy thinks he's an exceptional run blocker.
That's
yeah,
right.
okay. All right, let's talk about next week. Let's move over to next week. This loss is already in the books. What are we going to do with the Tennessee Titans and Derrick Henry, the freight train that he is? What are we going to do about this?
I really don't have a issue game plan wise when it comes to the Bears stopping the run. Henry runs upright. The Bears stop the run very good. It's to me, man, it's about what the offense can do for you, man. I don't even really got nothing for you on a week-to-week basis, because every week the Bears go out in the first half and they shut every offense down in the first half. If we could get 21 in the first half, the Bears would probably never lose.
All right.
But
that's not happening.
For you, as far as they're going to stop the run. I mean, Derrick Henry, he may even still get 100 yards, but is he going to have to grind it out, and it's going to chew up time and possession? But it's going to be an inefficient 100 yards. You know what I mean? Like,
as much they've been missing a lot of tackles lately. I mean, and it's probably just being tired and things like that. And it's also being a little bit over aggressive because they get juiced up because they know that they're the heart and soul of the team. So sometimes you see Rowe miss the tackle because he's going so hard that he over pursues a little bit. But
what happened?
Henry's hard to stop.
That's exactly right. See, what happens with the defense is that you get those mistakes because they're trying so hard to create a turnover.
Yeah. Because they feel like it's all on them.
Yeah. They go over to that sideline and then they just like literally high-fiving each other after making an exceptional play or something. And Nick Foles is like, man, you know, see if you guys can double down on that 3.
Well, what'd you say last week? As soon as Khalil Mack takes a seat, he turns to his right and Nick Foles is sitting right next to him because they're already back off the field.
And something that I thought was really peculiar. They did a design quarterback run with Mitch.
Yeah.
And he didn't see the field for the rest of the day. Why not more quarterback runs? Taysom Hill was eating.
And that's what I said. We went live right after the game and we were talking to quite a bit of fans, which is awesome. But what I said, it was just Matt Nagy trying to be cute because he saw what Sean Payton was doing on the other side. And it was basically like, hey,
I can do this.
I could do that too. Right, exactly. He's like, look, I have one of those too. And then, you know.
Yeah, but we don't have that offensive line. So
no, we don't.
Right. You know, it's like two kids going through puberty or showing their junk, and the one kid's like, "Oh, look at this monster," and the other one's like, "I got one too," and they're like, "You are not the same, son."
Hey, it's like I'm John Holmes and you're like I've had enough, man. Like this is what year 4 for Nagy.
Yep.
And how can it possibly get any better? Like, you know what I mean? Like you went and made a trade for your guy, Nick Foles. I honestly still don't believe that's his guy. They just said, you know what, screw it. He's been in a similar system. Let's still try to run this exotic Kansas City-esque offense without any of the personnel. They like all have – the Bears have like Kirkland brand Kansas City weapons. It's like we don't have Tyreek Hill. We have Darnell Mooney. No disrespect to Darnell Mooney. He's going to be a stud. But –
no, Darnell, I love the way the kid's playing right now. And look, here's the thing: if you can get Mooney and Miller playing like they did today, I mean, it's hard to beat a team like that. A-Rob, it's funny because you saw the game focus way on Miller than you did on A-Rob today. A-Rob, like the safety blanket for Foles and Mitch for that matter. But you saw Miller out there way more today. It was awesome.
It was good that he's actually catching the ball this week.
Well, it was good that he was getting targets because he was only getting targeted like 2-3 times
all
a game.
All he has to do is sit over the middle and he's going to be open.
Yeah, that's true.
It's tough, man, when you can't get into a steady rhythm.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even Allen Robinson, man, he had to have a woosah moment himself. He like, you know what? Nobody covered me today, and I still can't get the ball. And
all right, so what are your keys for a victory for next week?
Okay. Next week, stop the run. You stop the Titans. That was proven today. You know, I don't believe Ryan Tannehill is one of those guys that's going to win it with his arm. You know what I mean? Stop the run. You stop the Titans, man, and you've got to be able to produce some points. I don't know. Maybe I need to slide up to Hallis Hall, kidnap Matt Nagy or something. But it seemed like we were able to run the ball even a little bit better with some of the starters injured. I have no idea. I wish I had answers for you guys on offense, man. I would just try to go tempo and spread them out and do attack vertically. Definitely.
They finally aired out the ball today, but it seems like it takes them so damn long to get into that. They need to come out on fire.
Well, if you're going 3 and out every series, it's hard to air out the ball and get that rhythm.
Or if you're not going 3 and out and you march down the field and you get to like the 30-yard line and then you fizzle out, and then it's a waste.
Exactly. It's just one of those things, man, where when it's time to call your best plays, Matt Nagy doesn't have any. And we saw a lot of that today. You know, we could have extended drives and really, really stuck it to the Saints today. Because and here's another thing, too. As much as I like Chuck Pagano and I love the Bears defense, I really would like to see some more blitzing on quarterbacks that you know are washed. Drew Brees can't push the ball to past 30 yards.
Right.
I'm blitzing him.
They're trying, but I think they're so afraid of getting the ball pushed way down the field. I mean, especially with some of the quarterbacks. They already played Drew Brees. They played Tom Brady this year. They played Matt Ryan, who can throw it deep. They played Phillip Rivers. I mean, they're afraid of some of the. They played Matt Stafford, quarterbacks who are way above the caliber of anything we've seen on the north or down the team by the lake. But so I mean, it's I think they just don't know what to do with that. They just says, okay, well, they're just kind of playing so cautious because that's how they play themselves.
Yeah, man. And a game like today, you got to go get it. Michael Thomas is on the sideline. Right. You got to go get that win, man. And they were in position to do it. You're up 13-3, bunch of boneheaded plays. You let them come back and tie the game. You find a way to come back and tie the game. And then, your offensive guru coach is fresh out of ideas when it matters the most.
Well, I said I'm tired of BU because it smells like BO.
Yeah. BU smell like PU right now. That's about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
All right, Will, give us your prediction. Give us your score for next week's game.
Where we at Soldier Field?
No.
We're in Tennessee. We're in Tennessee.
In Nashville.
Going 24-20. No, I'll take 23-20 Titans. I just don't believe on the road that the Bears will be able to produce enough points, man. I hope they prove me wrong. But I think the Titans go out because they're on the 2-game skid now too. So it's this. Let's see who wants it more, man. Which team doesn't want to lose 3 in a row? And I think Tennessee got a little more talent than us on the offensive side of the ball. So
they put up over 400 yards in offense this week. So
yeah,
they do. They definitely do.
Looking at right now, we're looking at 5-3. Mm-hmm. What do you think our record's going to be at the end of the season, real quick?
If we don't get right, man, this week against Tennessee, then it could get pretty ugly, man. You got a lot of divisional games coming up. It could get ugly, man. But I think I said at the beginning of the season, and this is a 10-6 ball club. But with the way the offense is looking, man, we might be 8-8 again, and that's not going to cut.
That's exactly what I told you earlier. We're going to be 8-8 because I don't see them beating the Packers. I don't see them beating the Vikings twice. They might win that Jacksonville game, but I really don't think they are a 10-6 team anymore.
Nah, man, they had their chances, man, and I mean you getting every possible break. Star players are out and injuries galore, and COVID is helping. Like, yeah, you can't.
And they haven't. They've faced pretty much every team they've played this year. They've been without their best player, and they haven't been able to take advantage of a lot of these.
Every week, you haven't faced McCaffrey, you haven't faced Michael Thomas, you haven't faced this guy,
Julio Jones. Julio Jones. They didn't have to play against him.
What more can you ask for, man? You can't.
They didn't play Galladay in the first game.
Galladay's out. Like, what more can you ask for, man? Stars are aligning for them to have won 11, 12 games, and the middle of this schedule. This 3-game stretch was going to tell us everything. I was feeling confident after, them beating Tampa, but not so much anymore, man, because
not at all. All right. Well, one last question before we let you go. What is going on with Lamar Miller? Why isn't he playing?
I have no idea. Probably Matt Nagy. I don't know. Maybe Matt Nagy brings him in and runs a jet sweep with him next week. Who knows, man? Like,
do you think they should bring him in?
I figure this way. He must be washed if he hasn't been brought up by now, or he's still injured, because we need all the weapons we can get.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
All right, everybody. That's our Bears analyst, Il Brown. Check him out every week for his Bears expertise, and don't forget to check out his podcast, Beat the Block, available on all major platforms. Thanks, Will.
Anytime, fellas.
All right, Will. Appreciate you.
All right, everybody, let's take a pause for the cause and hear a word from our sponsors.
Noir is the first anime manga company to feature characters of color, bringing a level of flair and authenticity to the genre as a whole. With influences ranging from Japanese manga and animation, Western comics, streetwear, hip-hop, and various forms of cinema, Noir has created a unique style that can be appreciated by the masses. Check out noircaesar.com for more information.
Welcome back to the True Chicago Sports Fan Podcast with E-Roc and Big-Z. You know what time it is, brother?
Oh, baby.
It's time for Stirring the Pot.
Yes, sir.
What do you got for us today?
All right, man. This one comes special. This one comes straight from the homie Yams, who is a dope graffiti artist and also a cook. He will sell plates and things like that. And this is also in conjunction with our boy Mike Logic, because there's been an argument going back and forth about this one.
Because he likes the Balls family.
Oh, bro, the Ball family, the whole family, not just the one, not just Ball.
All the balls.
All the balls. Anyway, yeah, man, let's go back to our food here, and let's not stop talking about ball bags. Anyway, so yeah, like I said, this one is a conjoined effort, and I did promise him that I was going to bring this up. So Yams, I want you to pay attention to this very closely, and Mike, you too, brother.
This one's for you, like, apparently.
You ready for this?
Oh, yeah, I'm ready. I'm nervous.
All right. Hawaiian pizza, yes or no?
Yes. Give me that. Give me that ham. Give me that pineapple. Yes, I love it on a pizza. I love Hawaiian pizza.
That is the most disgusting thing I've ever heard in my life. It is awful. It's terrible.
I love it.
What the
I like that sweet and saltiness.
You are salty and you're a little sweet for saying something like that. Get the hell out of here with that nasty mess. Stop putting pineapple in my food like that.
No, man, I love it, man.
Chicago. We are in Chicago. You get the greatest pizza in the world.
I do.
Take your piña and your ham and get that crap out of here. I'll tell you what, Mike's big thing was like, even on Al Pastor, he was like,
Al Pastor has pineapple.
He's like, he goes, I'll take the pineapple out of it. I mean,
That's fine.
You can use that as a flavor, but I like the meat. I don't want all that pineapple. What the hell is this pineapple doing?
It's supposed to be very small chunks. It's not supposed to be big chunks.
Sometimes it comes out extra chunky. You know what I'm saying?
This ain't Campbell's, bro. This ain't Campbell's.
No, but I'm. You can keep it. You can keep it. I don't want it. I don't want any of it.
It's not something that I'm going to order on a weekly basis. It's something that sometimes there's a pizza special. You get buy one get one, and I'll flip it over there, and I'll get that.
I'm not ordering it. If I'm hanging out with the crew, and we go to a joint to go get some pizza, and the first one's like, yeah, I'll get a pizza with ham and pineapple. I'm going to assume that you're about to eat that pizza by yourself because that is for you and not for me. So, no, I will go with my combo on the pizza is going to be sausage, green pepper, onion. That's usually my joint right there, especially
sausage,
here in Chicago.
Jalapenos.
Yeah,
or the giardiniera one. I like the Italian beef pizza.
No.
Come on, man.
Giardiniera. I hate giardiniera.
Oh, step out your comfort zone.
If I don't like it, I don't like it. That don't mean that I'm hating.
If I don't like it, I don't like it. That don't mean that I'm hating.
No.
And one of the funniest things is the phrase "Don't yuck my yum." I says, "Well, if your yum wasn't yuck, I wouldn't be yucking your yum. Get out of here with this mess." Pineapples on pizza. Come on, man. Pineapples on pizza. Man, what the hell is this?
I love pineapple, man.
Go to Hawaii, eat some Spam, and marry a Samoan and get the hell out of here.
I see what's happening.
I mean, look, we're the 51st dates. They are white girls there too, man.
No. I'll take the Spam. I'm not married.
Oh, I wonder who heard that one.
Hey.
Anyway, yeah, man, I'm not. No, sir, on that pineapple. You can keep it. Y'all nasty. Y'all is nasty.
I'm bringing some next week.
Oh, no. Like I said, I'm assume that's for you, and I'm going to go get my own food. And guess what? Pineapple's not keto friendly either.
Oh, no, it's too much sugar for you.
Nah, because y'all are too sweet.
Too sweet.
Oh,
man, let's wrap this up. Let's wrap it up.
Yeah, no more piña talk. Oh, man. All right, y'all. That's it for today. Thank you for listening. Thanks to our sponsors, Noir, Ceasar, Villain Radio Studios, and Grit Clothing Company. Don't forget to check out gritclothingco.com and use our promo code TrueFan15 for 15% off your entire order. Thanks to our Bears analyst, Il Brown. Don't forget to check out his podcast, Beat the Block, which is available on all major platforms. Shout out to Ronesh, our producer, Jay Soto. And shout out to Mike Logic and Ideal from the All Net Podcast. Their show will return soon. Don't forget to check us out on social media. You can find us at True Shy Fans on Twitter and on TikTok. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, and reach out to us on our email. We want to hear from you. Reach out at truechicagosportsfans@gmail.com. The other thing I want to tell you guys, when we go live on Facebook, if you hit notify when True Chicago Sports Fans goes live, you'll get that notification when we go live after the games.
Yeah, you can argue with us.
When we upload on YouTube, you hit that little notification bell so you get our stuff right away when it comes up, and you don't have to go looking for it. It will come to you. Same thing with iHeartRadio. They will notify you.
All right, one last thing I wanted to mention. I wanted to shout out my A1, a man's best friend, Maximo. He was with us for 15 years. He went to doggy heaven this week after some recent health issues. He was 15. I got him in 05, so he was really, really special to me because that was an amazing year. It's always hard to say goodbye and to lose a family member. We will miss him dearly. And I know you just lost your cat, and I just lost my dog, so it's rough. It's October sucked.
Yeah, October was
2020's really sucked. I mean, I also lost my grandfather last month as well, so 2020's really, really blowed.
Well, I'll give you this. My condolences to you and your family for Max and also your grandfather. I know.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
This year's been rough, man. I thought Kobe passing away in January was gonna be the worst thing to happen this year, and then
apparently not. That was just a precursor to everything.
Yeah. So we appreciate y'all listening, and see you next week, and we'll see you for episode 18. You know, happy Halloween. We got Thanksgiving coming up, and
Dia de los Muertos.
That's true. You know, and shout out to our producer Jay Soto, who just had his birthday. Happy birthday, Jay.
Happy birthday, Jay.
So
congrats on the gig.
That's right.
You got a new gig?
Yeah, Jay got a new gig this week, so we're very excited for him.
Oh, before we leave, there's a couple of things. I did promise Ozzy Sr. if Tony LaRussa was the manager, that I have to get him a bottle of champagne. So I will pay up on my debt, Ozzy Jr.
Okay.
So I'll contact him tomorrow. I'll give him a tweet tomorrow of the DM. And I did say that we were going to run the day, well, I said I was going to run the Day of the Difference. So tomorrow in the morning when I get to work, I'm going to do the 3.1 miles in the gym with my Carreras shirt and my mask.
That's commitment, y'all.
Yeah, man. That's right.
All right, y'all. For Big Z, this is E-Roc, and we will see you next time. But until then, be good to each other.
For the love of sports.
Yeah.
I'm a grown man.
A full grown man. I like the meat.
A few moments later.
You have a lot of incest.
That's real.
Shut your mouth.
Lover boy.
Nature versus nurture, Lodge. Nature always wins.
I think he's on steroids.
Hasta luego, amigos.
Show's over, show's over, show's over.